Hey YouTube. So it's been about 2 months since I first got diagnosed with ADHD and since I first started getting treated for ADHD. If you're new to the channel, my name's Winter. This channel is all about my life, my adventures, my passions, and I like sharing them with the world. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, and feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more real content like this in the future. And feel free to give a like to this video if you found this video helpful or insightful. To recap, I have been diagnosed with mental health diagnosis in the past. So mental health diagnosis is not something different for me. I have been diagnosed in the past with other mental health issues. So during some of my initial diagnosis, I really thought I might have ADHD, but at that point in time, it was ruled out and I just agreed and went along with it. But ever since then, I've really been thinking more and more about it, so I decided to get a second opinion. And in that second opinion, it was decided that I do have ADHD. Since then, I have started treatment, and with that treatment, I have seen positive results. So I can now confirm I did have ADHD, and I do have ADHD. These last 2 months have been really life-changing for me in terms of learning to understand myself more. And I think the biggest thing I didn't realize was that I am now really interested in reattempting a lot of the hobbies I had in the past, which to some degree I feel that because of my ADHD, I wasn't able to enjoy them to the full potential. A couple examples would be figure skating, guitar, piano, and trading card games. Having had ADHD, some of these hobbies were something that I'd be able to get into, but it wouldn't be able to be consistent about. And furthermore, something like guitar or piano, I just would not be able to learn fundamentals. And without the fundamentals, it made it really hard to actually learn those skill sets. So in that time frame, I've really started to reapproach some of these old hobbies I had to see if I actually have that passion for them that I once did. And now with my mind being able to focus more, I am relearning things in different ways. The first hobby I've actually been able to really reapproach was trading cards. So I used to play Magic the Gathering and Pokemon a lot more than I do now. And with my ADHD being more situated, I have reapproached both. I went to my Magic the Gathering group. So I have a group that meets for Magic the Gathering once a week, and they're really consistent with it for the last few years. So I went to one of the meets recently, and playing the game, I just was able to understand so much more about my cards. Now, keep in mind, having played as long as I did, I was actually really good at the game, even with ADHD. So when I went to play recently, it was a whole new level of play, is what I would call it. I was able to focus more. I was able to be more attentive. I borrowed my friend's deck, and in the first match, I lost by 1 health point in the 4 pod. So it's a Commander in Magic is a 4-person format, and I was very, very close to winning that match with a deck that I had never played. And the second match, I actually ended up winning. And the entire time I played, it was just a lot less frustrating to play because everything was just so much easier to understand and just more fluent, etc. So I really did see some positive results in that. So I attempted this in Pokemon, the trading card game. So Pokemon is a much simpler trading card game. So I reattempted it, and once again, I got the same results. I was able to be more consistent with my gameplay, understand more, and really focus in on my turns. So these were really positive things that I was hoping would be the case, and they were. So now I've applied that to other areas in my life and other passions. Business, for example, I've been able to be more consistent with that. I'm trying not to overextend myself. in the hobbies that I am re-attempting to learn or, give another shot to. But slowly I'm realizing that I need to really rediscover what my hobbies are and what those passions are and what long term I want them to be now that I'm able to perceive the world in a different way. So, with all that being said, I think I've had a little bit of ups and downs in my mental health in this time frame because of that. I've really realized that for the earlier part of my life, I really had a hard time discovering who I was as someone that could focus and really just learn to live as someone that couldn't focus. And that's been a little hard to cope with, but I am definitely coping with it because I ultimately want to learn more about myself. I want to learn what my real hobbies and passions are, and I want to be able to pursue them in the way I want. And also in business. There was areas where I would fall short because of my mental health, and realizing that a part of it was ADHD has really made me rethink and reapproach things. So I think that was the biggest self-discovery for me, is that I learned to live with ADHD and adapted pretty well. But now that it's under control, I am trying to relearn basically most of everything I've learned to this point. So I think that is what I'd like to end with my 2 month update, is that right now I am relearning a lot of things. In terms of side effects and in terms of the medication itself, I've actually adapted really well. I stuck on the same dosage, which is 80 milligrams a day, and that's been my dosage, and I've been okay with it. So, yeah, ultimately, the biggest thing I've learned is that I've had to really relearn how my brain works and how I think and how I perceive things, and just really learn to accept that and learn to live with that. So, anyways, that's my quick 2 month update. I hope to keep you guys updated as I continue learning more and more. But for now, I'd like to say that the diagnosis was correct. I've had positive results, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here, and excited to kind of relearn myself and have you guys join me for that journey. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Winter out.